a generative AI technology can be looked at from an augmentation perspective and an automation perspective. And augmentation is basically where it is helping a human to perform certain tasks, which means here, the question that I would need to ask when I'm looking at a particular technology would be how technology feasible is this solution to my need.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of FaceTime with Leaders, brought to you by Directors Institute World Council of Directors. I'm your host, Tanay All, and today we have a very special guest with us. We're incredibly honored to be joined by someone whose journey has truly been an inspiration. Mr. Satyen H Parikh is a visionary leader with over 43 years of diverse experience spanning both corporate and entrepreneurial realms. From his time leading major companies such as HCL, Hindutron, Onward Novel India, Borland, F5 Networks, IBM, and Citrix, to his current role as a business coach and mentor, Mr. Parikh has been instrumental in shaping the careers of entrepreneurs, professionals, and organizations worldwide. With a passion for empowering women entrepreneurs, students, and individuals facing career transitions, his impact is far reaching and deeply meaningful. His entrepreneurial journey, now 14 years strong, has seen him mentor over 50 individuals, including startup founders, small businesses, and corporate professionals, especially those navigating career shifts due to layoffs or midlife crises. Mr. Parikh's work is dedicated to helping people unlock their potential and achieve their goals regardless of their stage in life or career. So, grab a cup of coffee, get comfortable as we dive into a conversation filled with wisdom, inspiring stories, and actionable insights that promise to uplift and motivate. Sir, it's an absolute privilege to have you with us on the show today, and we welcome you.
Thank you so much, Tanay. Sincerely appreciate your gracious introduction and kind words to really let people know about what I have been doing. Thank you.
Our privilege, sir. Sir, you've had such a fascinating and diverse career, starting from global leadership roles at companies like IBM and Citrix to now coaching and empowering entrepreneurs. As someone who's navigated both the corporate world and entrepreneurial space, I'm sure you've had your share of milestones and challenges along the way. To begin our conversation today, could you take us back and share the journey that led you to where you are today?
Yeah, sure. When we look at hindsight, and this is true in every aspect of our decision making or whatever it is. So you look at the hindsight and you start wondering, the journey that you've taken, the decisions that you've made, the kind of experiences that you have encountered, the challenges that you have faced, and whatnot, right? Interestingly, for me, my professional journey, which began in August 1982, happened to be just as a very quick flow. So in July 1982 is when I finished giving my exams for BSc Statistics as my majors. And I was wondering what should the career be like. And at that time, computers were just getting into they were still in its nascency. And I thought that was a good way to really look at the career. The Bible at that point of time was Computers and Common Sense, a book that was written by Hunt and Shelley. So I still distinctly remember the color of the book and the fonts and everything, though it is 43 years back. So started reading that, got myself enrolled with NIIT, and then got an opportunity through a known reference to be appearing for an interview with HCL. First job interview, no precedence, nothing in terms of awareness of what computers are and whatnot. So just went for the heck of it. I said that let's try it out. Who knows? So that was a full day long interview, and I at the end of it, I was told that we'll let you know. So I said good, and I kind of was preparing to start my NIT. And in a week's time, so this was even before my results were out, I got an offer letter from HCL. And I was asked to join the league. in on 2nd August 1982, and that's my journey start point. And I have never looked back since then. So there have been a few key aspects as a part of what my persona is today or what I believe in. Thanks to my grandparents and parents who have imbibed some very strong values as what work should be and how should one approach whatever uh, job that you have or work that you do personally, professionally, doesn't matter, right? So that was kind of absolutely ingrained and embedded. So my first 8 months in HCL, I think are still uh, kind of the pivot or the anchor to whatever I am today. Because that 8 months was when I was working 18 hours a day. I was going home, sleeping for 6 hours, 5 hours, getting ready, coming back to office, and nonstop. And given the fact that I was a science graduate, I was in a computer company, uh, gave me a kind of a feeling that if I can't make this opportunity work for me, then what else, right? So that's the beginning of my journey. Then obviously things progressed. I moved from one company to another. I moved positions from one to another. But these were the, I would say, the anchorage and belief that, you know, whatever be the case, you can make things happen. You can make things work if you set your mind to it. If you have a clear-headed thinking, a lot of times, and if I reflect back to the present situation where I do interact with a lot of youngsters, Gen Zs and millennials, and we call it various Gen X and whatever we call them. Uh, a lot of them either are distracted or they have a lot of clouded thinking. We will get to that a bit later, but if I look at as the journey, yes, there were challenges. So one of the kind of anagram that I have built for myself and what I believe is LEAP, LEAP, and it's all about learn, evolve, adopt, and practice as a relentless one. Uh, a lot of times I see people crying for opportunities. I wish I had this. I wish I had this. My only statement to them is, you know, rather than trying to look for what you don't have, first, can you count your blessings? Can you really identify what is it that you are blessed with today? And then see what do you want? And then prepare yourself for that. So a lot of these is what has been a part of me, has been evolving. Uh, my I think I have been always trained since childhood to keep pushing myself, whatever be the case. Uh, if you achieved a success, then can you achieve a bit more than what you wanted? Uh, if you achieved your goal, can you do it in a shorter time period than whatever it is, and whatnot? The other thing that I have probably learned a lot is that we all individuals have a beautiful and most powerful tool available, which is introspection. Which means that if I am in the habit of introspecting myself and being my own harshest self-critic for things that I have done or things I do or things I want to do, I don't need anyone to tell me where should I improve, what should I do, am I doing good, am I not doing good, and whatnot. And most important underlying to this is the fact that it really helps build a kind of a practice to be honest to yourself. A very difficult thing to do by any uh, any of us, right? So is as I see my journey of 43 plus years and wherever I am, uh, I think this is what it is.
Yeah. And that's some journey, sir. So, your transition from high level corporate leadership roles to becoming a coach and mentor for women entrepreneurs and students is truly inspiring. You've helped inspire over 70 women entrepreneurs and mentored more than 8,000 students across India, which is remarkable impact. I'm curious, looking back at all that, what first inspired you to make that shift from the corporate world to dedicating yourself to coaching and mentoring?
Yeah, so this question that you asked me, uh, I also keep wondering myself because when I was the business unit executive and vice president at IBM, I mean at a very senior position, driving over $150 million business, turning that around to becoming profitable and whatnot. There was no reason for me to throw a stone and create a ripple in the water. And somewhere deep down, I was just not feeling the joy. I was not feeling the passion of what I was doing. And there was a certain amount of discomfort uh, that am I being challenged enough, or am I just going into a very autonomous robotic mode? Uh, and for what? So I think those questions really pushed me into making a call of just quitting without having anything in front of me. So I would be kidding myself if I were to say that, I quit and I had decided that I would be a coach and mentor. that would be that would be an absolute bullshit. That was not the case. So I just quit because I did not find my passion being ignited, and I did not have the joy of doing. And there was a certain amount of discontent and discomfort within me, which I felt if I continued with it, it would do injustice to my family, because there would be a certain amount of toxicity which would built into me as a person. And before I know it, things could kind of just go very different. So I was a bit conscious on that, and I didn't want to really go there. So that could be probably the reason why I just decided to move out of corporate world. Uh, then what to do was a thing. I was not essentially a coder or an engineer to develop a product. I was more of a relationship person. I was more of people, and I wanted to kind of just build on that. But I wanted to test myself that probably my 30 years of career, whatever I believed in, is it still applicable today? Is it still contemporary? Is it relevant and contextual to whatever it is? So that is where I got kind of an opportunity to be enrolling myself with Franklin Covey's uh, course for international, as a part of being an international coaching federation, uh, as associated coach. Uh, that is the accreditation that they gave. So I joined that course, and I kind of worked through it, got done with it. Uh, Thankfully, it kind of gave me the confidence and conviction that whatever I was believing in, whatever I was thinking in, made sense. So that's it. That's where I started, and one thing led to another. My passion with academia, interacting with students, was there right from my early days in Novell and Hindutron as well, where I used to visit various schools and talk to them. So that continued. I got opportunity mentoring women entrepreneurs. I got opportunity working with large and small enterprises, working top down from chairman to down the line people, because that my belief was that whatever we talk about at with the executive chair level, or the chairman or the CEO and all, it still needs to percolate down. Uh, so I took the mental of doing it myself, and I kept on doing that as a journey. So yeah, so if I were to look at it, follow the path of passion, uh, ensure that you have a joy of doing, know the discomfort and discontent that is growing, and address it as quickly as possible. Uh, Love what you do. So my parents, my grandparents used to always tell me that there is an adage called work is worship. For me, that's a mantra. I just have it strongly embedded within me. So
Yeah,
that's what it is.
and very rightly said, sir, that today there is enough opportunity for the youth to go ahead and find what they love and find their passion in it, which, like you
Absolutely.
said, avoids toxicity in interpersonal relationships because you don't get that dependency and push it on somebody else of
Correct.
not being happy at
Absolutely.
work.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That is so true.
Sir, you had the opportunity to work with such a wide range of organizations, startups, MSMEs, and large corporations. Each of these has its own set of challenges and opportunities. In your experience, what's the most common mistake you've seen these businesses make, regardless of their size, and more importantly, how can they avoid it?
And that's an interesting question because there have been a lot of, I mean, there have been startups, there have been family organizations, there have been large corporates, professional, there have been individually driven ideas that people have and whatnot, right? So uh, if I were to really pinpoint on certain areas of what could be improvised, I mean, I wouldn't call them as mistakes. Mistakes are there. Yes, I mean we all have to keep doing mistakes so that we can learn from it. So that's perfectly fine. But I would say that which are the areas of improvisation, which are the aspects that is really helping me keep going in the direction that I want to. So if I were to look at from that perspective, my thoughts would say that first and foremost, it's all about you know understanding and managing uh, and valuing the human assets that we have. Any organization, any size, any shape, any number of employees. But what is the inherent value that you are putting to the human assets that you have in the company? Um, so these are I would kind of be answering this as more of pointers and more of introspection to all the listeners through this medium as a part of if they are facing these kind of adversities, then what is it that they should be looking at? So it would be answered more from that perspective. I hope that is fine. All right. So yes, valuing the human assets, uh, ensuring that there are always predicaments and dilemma of making decisions, what decision to make, when to make. So having relevant contextual data points, uh, which kind of provide you uh, the right comprehension and understanding of why is the situation where it is today, and therefore what is the decision that you need to take. Uh, so making informed decisions based on these aspects, again, uh, for whatever be the case, within organization, internally, externally, for business or whatever it is, right? The other important aspect is that uh, how true are you to the guiding principles of your organization? Uh, a lot of times I have done a lot of leadership workshops as well, and I keep asking some of the companies that tell me what are your guiding principles. And at times I find people having very quizzical look, which means that they probably are not even aware that there should be some guiding principles. So what they would be is a different matter altogether. But I think these are like glue. They are like kind of a binding force for an organization. And let me share some examples with you in terms of what could be the guiding principles for any organization. It can be innovation, it can be teamwork, it can be integrity, it can be teaming, collaboration. It can be openness and transparency. It can be responsiveness. It can be probably timeliness, empowerment, enabling. So each of these are in different ways like a hub and spoke for an organization. And this is where you can probably have a binding force uh, for the organization to look at. Other aspect that I have seen a lot of companies sometimes struggle with is not knowing their trade-offs. So, what is it that I give in to take something? There are classical examples of attitudinal issues with employees. You have the best performer, but they have attitude issues. You have the most obedient performer, but very average. So, what's your trade-off? Right? So, again, knowing that trade-off is extremely important. And alongside with that, it's important for every organization to establish a zero tolerance zone, which means they are like landmines. So they are non-negotiable for the organization. If anybody steps onto that zero tolerance zone or that landmine, sorry, but you have to go. So that way, you essentially don't keep getting into too much of predicaments. You are very clear in the way that you are wanting to shape your organization, you want to drive the organization, you want to build the ethos of the organization. You have a vision for that. So why sacrifice it, or why kind of just go along compromising it for no rhyme or reason? Mutual respect and implicit trust between each other as colleagues, as peers, as subordinates is again something that needs to be continuously reinforced and inculcated. People have to be believing in what others are saying rather than looking at it with cynicism, rather than looking at it with the fact that, hey, this guy is just telling me for the heck of it. Or, oh, here he comes, he will waste my time. So if you are getting judgmental onto those levels, where is the teaming and collaboration within a company that's going to work in? A lot of times the company also, if they are facing challenging times, or if they should accept the current reality. They should be very comprehensive and cognizant about what and where I am today. Accept, acknowledge first that. Don't be in a state of denial. Don't be in a state of finding excuses in sense that, oh, it's because of this that it happened. Oh, had RBI issued this circular, we would have been really wonderful. Had Nirmala Sitharaman created this GST into this zone, we would have been wonderfully well placed and whatnot, right? So I don't think that's where the thoughts need to go. Accept the reality, acknowledge the challenges that you have, and then collectively find the path forward.
Yeah.
A lot of times this is again simple things. I'm not talking anything rocket science as such, because these are the most simplistic way and people know it. It's just that people forget it.
And I think this is the base of life also. What you just said, that is the solution to any problem in life, right? That you accept
Absolutely.
the problem, don't find reasons why it happened. Accept
Correct.
it, find a solution, move on.
Absolutely. See, a lot of times when I accept that, yes, I am in a deep soup,
Correct.
then I know that I'm in a deep soup. So then I have to find a way to move.
Otherwise, half the time you can be oblivious to the soup and just be like, no, this is not there. This is just an image. This is just a
Yeah.
myth. And you're
Absolutely.
just denying it and pushing it because it will happen.
Correct. And
True.
one of the other point that strikes my mind is that always set pragmatic but stretched aspiration. So whilst it may seem like paradox, I have seen a lot of companies create harakiri by really going overboard in their aspirations. This year we've done 10. I think we can do 100 next year. Do you have all the resources? Do you have the infrastructure? Do you have the support mechanism? Do you have everything that can scale you to 100?
Yeah.
Or is it just a number out of your aspiration? So I think that balance that needs to be. So these are some of the probable thoughts that cross my mind as
Yeah.
for the question that you had.
Very well said, sir. So, we live in a time where technology is advancing at an incredible pace, and it seems like businesses are constantly having to pivot and adapt just to stay competitive. With all the changes we are seeing in AI, automation, and digital transformation, I'd love to hear about your thoughts. Like, how do you think businesses need to adapt to thrive in this rapidly evolving landscape?
So again, this is interesting for me because I come from the early 90s, 1980s, so 1982, where we were trying to convince people why they need a computer and what is a computer, right? So it's I'm extremely happy to be in an era now where people are questioning which one to really go for, rather than should I invest into technology. So a huge shift of adoption, and India to that extent has been a blessed country because we've skipped a few phases of computerization that has helped us embrace it faster and adapt to the newer technologies a lot more efficiently than what a lot of other developed economies had gone through. So because I've been a part of this technology journey since 1982, and when we meet as friends, we keep going back in times in terms of looking at where it is. Businesses today are spoiled for choices when it comes to technology and making technology investments, because for every probable business problem, there are quite a few alternatives that one can really look at. So therefore, there is obviously a challenge on which one should be good for me. Internalizing your business criticalities, establishing and gaining the ability to identify your exact business problem is the basic step at which you can then identify which technology and which solution can really fit you the best. If you allow this exercise not to be done by you and your company members, and you allow somebody else to do it, they will look at from their perspective. They will not look at from your business perspective. So there would be a difference in their putting across what you need to do. Yes, digital transformation that is happening today, but I would say that it's kind of an old wine in new bottle. Because right from the time that, as I said, why computers, that was also a digital transformation. Why this technology? A digital transformation. When COVID happened, why virtualization? Why cloud services? Why cloud technologies? Digital transformation. So it comes in different avatars. The concept does not change much. The relativity in terms of how a technology is helping me solve a particular business problem still remains paradigm. And that is what needs to be focused on. Coming back to artificial intelligence, which is now so pervasively talked about across, and you have even the news dailies, newspapers actually carrying 1 or 2 pages every day on AI. So there are a couple of things that I would like to share based on what my limited or restricted understanding about this technology is, that typically a generative AI technology can be looked at from an augmentation perspective and an automation perspective. And augmentation is basically where it is helping a human to perform certain tasks, which means here, the question that I would need to ask when I'm looking at a particular technology would be how technology feasible is this solution to my need. The automation is essentially doing repetitive process, getting them automated. So I do not have too much of human intervention to be involved and engaged into it. In this case, I have to basically ask myself questions in terms of what are my specific business values that I want to look at. So what is the impact that this task will help in my business when I automate? So this is how I would kind of try and decipher it. Another important development that has happened, and which India is really and very rapidly adopting to, is agentic AI. So which means that you have agents, autonomous agents, which are being built. which require very minimal or no human intervention at all. And they are used to kind of automating processes and operations for improvised efficiency and effectiveness. India as a country, and there has been a research that was done by Deloitte very recently, which said that almost 80% of Indian enterprises are looking at agentic AI to really explore as a part of their next line of investment. So, which is good. For the viewers, I would like to also share where technologies of digital transformation or AI are already making its presence felt. Let's take a look at an example of a surgeon who is just going into a surgery. The advantage that AI offers to the surgeon is having a research available at fingertips on the particular surgery or the case that he or she is wanting to do, which earlier they would have to struggle or they would have to really spend a lot of time before even getting into it. But now that is available very, very quickly. The same goes with, say, probably lawyers when they are fighting a particular case. So there is a lot of documentation that are available. They have the cases, the decisions that are made, a quick reference point available to what is relevant for your particular activity is now very quickly done. Marketing, putting up contents on website, writing web copies and whatnot. Again, very easily doable. Customer experience. You can enhance, you can augment, you can create happy customer services through use of AI technologies and all. So these are some very clear examples that I believe help the. However, there are a few tips that I would want to leave your viewers with, which essentially could help them as they look at adopting to this technology. First and foremost, it's important that you build a culture that encourages discussion and debates on ethical issues. See, because AI is so pervasive that it can actually trample a lot of privacy, or it can trample areas that are unknown or probably we had not even thought about. So we need to be mindful of that by having this kind of debate on ethical issues. Second is an important point that there has to be a brainstorm done on how things can go wrong. A lot of companies don't do that, but I would submit and I would urge companies to really think about it. Last but not the least is that try and work with as much diverse team as possible to get more and more perspectives. See, I just want to take a minute here. AI technology works on LLMs, which are the large language modules, which are nothing but huge amount of data that is available to be kind of tapped into and the relevance to be brought to what you are seeking. So if I want to send a beautiful message to Tanay all, and I go to ChatGPT and say that help me do this, it will give me whatever I say with the prompt. So there is a LLM that is there. But that also has the pros and cons. Number one. Number two is that it may not be 100% right and accurate to what you want it to be. So validation and verification of the results and the responses that you get are extremely pertinent. I hope this helps.
Yeah, 100%, sir. I think very rightly said that the point where you said that it's not the first time that technology advancements happening. It has been coming, it will keep coming. And
Absolutely.
if we don't look at how it's going to help us, people are going to be left behind like they did when probably a lot of people would have rejected computers, saying that that's not the way we want to go about, but today they have to.
I'll if we have time, I'll take 30 seconds to
Yeah, sure.
give you a very hilarious anecdote. Okay.
Sure, please, please.
So when I was selling computers, So how to make people understand the value of computer? It was only through some applications. So we had some financial accounting application, inventory management application, and whatnot, right? So I used to carry that software, and that time we used to have it in floppy drives.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. So we used to carry those floppy drives, we used to carry the machines. So I used to go to, so I am a Mumbaiite. It's now that 24 years that I'm in Bangalore, but at heart, I'm still Mumbaiite. So we used to go to Masjid Bandar, we used to go to the grain merchants, we used to go to the cloth market and try to sell
yeah,
them financial accounting. And also one similar anecdote was when I was sitting at a grain store owner talking to him, I showed him the whole thing. He said, "Wow, this is good. Click of the button and I get my balance sheet, my P&L statement, and all that stuff. So how does this all work?" So then I removed that floppy, and I said that, "Sir, it's all about software application. So this is the unit which is called as hardware, and this is on the floppy which is called as software." So I said, "Which means this is the brain that makes this work." So I said, "Yes, sir, this is what it is." So he said, "Okay, fine. And how much does this whole thing cost?" So I said, "Sir, the software would cost you around 3.5 lakh rupees. The unit would cost you around 2.5 lakh rupees and whatnot." I said, "Oh." So he said, then he said, "Can I see the floppy?" I said, "Yeah, you can see it." So he took the floppy. He said, "So this must be what, 50 grams, 25 grams?" So I said, "Yeah, sir, that must be." "You guys are just killing us out. See this go down. See the tons of grains that I have, and I'm not even selling at the price which you are selling me a 50-gram floppy here." So, but we've come a long way from.
yeah, I swear. And I'm sure that 20 years from now, a similar anecdote will be told about AI, where probably people are saying that what is the use, why do we need it, and then it suddenly becomes the base, like the trainee level of any workforce, where AI is doing that for you now. Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
So, with your incredible journey and impact you've already made, I'm sure you're constantly thinking of the future. We'd love to hear from you what are some of your biggest aspirations in the coming years, both in terms of your personal growth and in terms of your role within boardrooms.
Uh, so at the age and the phase of life that I am, uh, I consider it to be immensely blessed that somewhere through this practice and somewhere through the journey of my corporate life, professional, uh, I have been able to nail down a specific purpose, something that just keeps me going, something that keeps me having that fire in the belly, uh, keeps me energetic, keeps me pushing my boundaries of learning. With nothing is enough. So I would say that that purpose is all about empowering minds and touching lives. Uh, so that's all what I want to do. Uh, being instrumental, being there for somebody uh, who needs just that helping hand to be successful and happy. And if I become instrumental in just aiding that journey, uh, I will just thank my stars for that. So a lot of times when I interact with my clients and their team members, and when I ask them some difficult questions, I make them kind of do introspective exercises, which is very difficult for them. And then they say that, "Sir, I've done this. Does this make you happy?" And I tell them, wrong question. Uh, don't look at whether whatever you do or whatever I'm telling you is to make me happy. I said that I'm not there at all. My vested interest is only in your success and happiness. If you go there, I said that's it. Don't don't try, and this is so much of a human persona. They feel that they are doing something so that others can be happy. But if you just flip it over and say that, "Hey, let me keep doing things that which makes me happy and which keeps challenging me to improvise," automatically people and the ecosystem around you will start doing better. So I would kind of look at where this journey is unfolding for me, and I would just want to continue that. What is very interesting, and which again I feel this opportunity through Directors Institute that has come to me to get certified as an ACDP program, is that I can probably take a lot of all these that I have within me to the boardrooms of the company. So I can probably share and work through on a lot of challenges or ideas that they have. At the same time, learn from the other stalwarts that are already existing in the boardroom, or who may be joining as a part of my colleagues. So it's an exciting prospect that I see, where there is a certain amount of blending in into a different world that I am able to take, and which again can make a huge difference and an impact to the society, to the organizations, to the corporate world, the way it is supposed to be. So I'm kind of I'm just looking for that.
And we feel in safe hands that when you talk about giving back to society, I think people like us feel very safe that okay, there are still people who want to mentor and pass on the experience, because I can learn everything of Google, I can't get experience of Google, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Nothing will ever replace man to man, person to person, individual to individual interaction.
100%.
However or whatever technologies can keep evolving.
Because books and technology came much later than humans did, right? We were still working before that.
Absolutely. Everybody was working, and think about so many of our brilliant leaders
Yeah.
who had nothing at their behest, and yet they were able to bring in so much of reformation and challenge and changes, which has made the society what it is today.
Today we
It's
can't hold.
brilliant.
Yeah, today for morning meetings we need reminders and calendar invites, and we had revolutions running off no internet, no phones, right? Where people
Yeah.
would show up.
So I mean, people like me who have started in 1980s, there were no cell phones,
Yeah,
right? I remember the first landline that we got in our home was probably when I uh, graduated, which was in 1982. The first television that we got was in 1983.
yeah,
Uh, the mobiles that we got was in 1992. The laptops that we got was in 1993. Internet was just coming in then,
yeah, yeah.
right? And people, if today are cribbing about 100 Mbps speed being slow, we used to work with a 64.4 kbps modem speed, right?
Dial-ups.
Dial-ups, and we still got work done, by the
Yeah,
way.
exactly.
So,
100%. And a much peaceful manner, I would say.
yeah, that's what it is.
So we've seen the startup ecosystem in India grow at an incredible pace, and with that, there's also an increasing recognition of the importance of strong leadership and governance. Now, having worked closely with numerous startups, I've often wondered how important do you think it is for Indian businesses, especially startups, to integrate corporate governance practices from the very beginning?
Yeah. So again, as I said, guiding principles. So the corporate governance protocol process, whatever we may call it, I would say that every organization, whatever businesses they are in, whether they are publicly listed, privately, they are kind of public sector undertaking, whatever it is, or startup, they have to factor in the corporate governance as their DNA. It has to be something that is living in their organization. It is breathing in their organization. It is a habit forming in their organization. It has to be imbibed as your own value, as a human value, and nurtured uh, to the level, the way the organization's business is, the way the organization's ecosystem is, the way the organization is doing business or transacting business internally, externally. complying to whatever it is. So that would be one of my base statement that I would probably look at. I think we have enough examples from the distant past to the recent times where violation of or absolutely paying least attention to such guiding principles and corporate governance has rested those companies in peace. And the biggest impact that has been happening were on the employees or the shareholders of those companies. I mean, we may think about those companies shutting shop, but there are no stories or there are no such researches that are still highlighting the plight of people who have been impacted with it. How many people may have committed suicide? How many people may have come on roads? How many people may have just got everything taken away from them because of somebody else violating things for their own greed and benefits. So I think those large impacts need to be understood as companies get tempted to go beyond corporate governance and try to do something as a misfit or something to cut corners or something to just be smarter. I think there are different ways to be smarter, not by violating the set procedures and guidelines which you need to abide by. So which means that for startups, it becomes extremely critical that they need to really get it right from ground zero. They should not wait and watch for, let's grow to this level and then we will do it, and let's grow to this level and we do it. No, start small, get it right, and keep it up with you as you want to kind of keep growing, because it will only help your cause. I think a lot of times people have this misconception that, oh, when I have too much of process and procedures and policies, I may not be really as accelerated and nimble-footed that I want to be. I think that's wrong. It's how you understand it, how you adopt it, how you really internalize it, how you are aligning or everybody in your organization to it. Then it will be a smooth oiled machinery. It will be the best gears in motion. So you have to, as an organization, one has to think from that perspective. Last but not the least, I would say that companies have to look at it as their inherent and internal value add, rather than it being something that is imposed on you. And this is again a human tendency. If I were to talk to you and tell, hey Tanay, for you to be successful, you need to do these 5 things and see how things are different to you. You may know them, right? And you may understand them also that yes, they are right. But because I have told you, it becomes an imposition, and therefore you would not do it. So it's again a mind game that the organizations need to play with themselves. Consider this to be my own self. Consider this to be my inherent value add, which I am taking with me and as a part of my organization to wherever I go. And it is not something that is imposed by Ministry of Corporate Affairs and financial bodies like SEBI and RBI and whatever it is, right? So it's just that perceptive difference that you would want to look at it. Hope that answers.
Yeah, 100%, sir. It's always about the larger picture, and the earlier you start, the easier it will be to paint the larger picture.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely.
Sir, you had an incredibly successful career, and recently you became a part of Directors Institute community. So we would love to know, how has your experience been so far, and how do you feel that joining the institute has contributed to both your personal and professional growth?
Interestingly, I was just trying to think, when did I join the course, and it is not even a month yet. But it seems like a long time.
Okay.
Because I've interacted with so many people within this organization, and the kind of interaction that I've been having is also so very cordial and very invigorating as such. The LMS modules that I have kind of going through, I find them very interesting. I find them very simplistically put, though of course, I still get too overwhelmed with all the sections that are thrown in and the rules and the company rules and all that stuff. The various there are, I think there are some 4 or 5 pages just outlining how many sections are there, which in the real world when I was there, I knew about it, but I was not correlating with sections and all whatnot. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's good to kind of so it's a good uh, reflection of my practical understanding of the way the businesses were run or things that were done. I have been part of board meetings. I have presented to board members. I have been a part of the other side and whatnot. Uh, but here, that whole blending of knowledge was and is continuing to be just wonderful. I see the course contents to be pretty good and comprehensive and well structured. So it doesn't kind of really bore you to death. So my sons and my wife also jibes at times that once your dad walks into this room, we don't see him for hours together, and he doesn't seem to be coming out, and he's got into his school mode and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just love that feeling of getting back to school after so many years. But it's a great learning. If I were to look at from my journey so far of being a professional for almost 3 decades, uh, leading various technology companies and whatnot, to being an entrepreneur. Uh, I think it appears to be a very logical blend of me walking into a boardroom thanks to the opportunity from Directors Institute that appears to be coming to me. At personal level, I see this to be an absolutely empowering experience that is being facilitated by Director Institute. Uh, it's incredible because the perspectives that it gives, and as I said, the relevant and the contextual understanding that I am acquiring today um, is manifold, and that will just help and aid the journey. So I will continue to be a coach and mentor, whether I am in the boardroom or not. But it just is the whole uh, expanded perspective and cognition and comprehension about every aspect that we talk about. I think that is profound through this facilitation. So I'm really going to be indebted with this opportunity from Directors Institute, and want to thank all of you guys for doing this wonderful job uh, to get us to a different position. So sincerely appreciate it. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you so much for those kind words, because it's been a truly insightful conversation we've had. From your incredible journey in global leadership roles to your passion for mentoring and empowering next generation of leaders, it's clear that you've been making and will continue to make a very profound impact. So, thank you so much for sharing your experiences, perspectives, and your journey.
My pleasure.
Absolutely, sir. It's truly been lovely. I mean, you've made it so simple. So many big things are often said, but sometimes it's about doing the smaller things right. And I'm
Absolutely.
sure I'm sure the audience today has found this episode as motivating and thought provoking as I did. Remember, this is a remember message to all our audience out there that no matter where you are in your career, always embrace learning, stay adaptable, and giving back to the society is sometimes the key to a larger good. If you're inspired by Mr. Parikh's work and want to deep dive into corporate governance, leadership, and more, make sure to check out Directors Institute for other resources that can help elevate your career. And thank you so much for tuning in to another episode on FaceTime with Leaders. Until next time, keep empowering yourself to reach new heights, strive with purpose, and as always, have fun in your journey. Thank you so much.